Hello my friends, I hope you're having a lovely January 15th, 2019, and for today's big story we are talking about the continued success of the Switch. Obviously by now you know the Switch has been a pretty big deal for Nintendo, really swung back in the right direction after the Wii U, so good for Nintendo, very much deserved. And that news continues obviously after the holiday season that things are still going well. Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa talked to a Japanese publication and he shared some details about Smash Bros. Ultimate sales and the Switch in general, so let's talk about that. As I said, Mr. Furukawa had an interview with a Japanese publication. I talked to him very quickly about various stuff at Nintendo, but in particular he talked about Smash Bros. Ultimate and the Switch. When it comes to Smash Bros. Ultimate, he says the game managed to surpass 5 million units sold worldwide in its first week, which is a pretty big deal. There's a lot of games that do really well right out of the gate. Obviously, a lot of companies think that their first week of sales, or first month, we'll say, is the most important, which is certainly true, but Nintendo likes to create long-tail sellers. But when it comes to Nintendo games, they do very well around the world. There's a lot of other games or game companies that have games that do really well in one particular part of the world, but Nintendo seems to be able to spread those sales out around the world and those continue on. So 5 million sold worldwide is absolutely fantastic for the game and shows that A, people are really excited about the Switch, B, people picked up a Switch alongside the release of Smash Bros. Ultimate, and C, people really wanted a new Smash Bros. So you really can't go wrong with Ultimate. It has every character that's ever been in Smash Bros. Playable, and then new ones on top of that, and more to come through DLC. So that 5 million sold, very much deserved, and obviously, like I said, that was the first week, so you can imagine the sales are quite a bit higher now. Mr. Furukawa continued on by talking about the Switch in general, and he said the Switch is seeing the fastest home console software sales in Nintendo's entire history. So name a Nintendo console, the Switch is doing better in terms of how fast software is selling, which is, again, absolutely fantastic. And it's pretty crazy when you consider some of Nintendo's history there, especially when you look at something like the Wii. The Wii was absolutely phenomenal when it came to both hardware and software sales. We know that the Switch is giving the Wii a run for its money when it comes to hardware sales, and now that we see, that it's actually doing better when it comes to how quickly software is selling than what the Wii did. That's mind-boggling to me. Obviously, because the Wii has sold somewhere over 100 million units. The Switch is, we don't know where, but it's not anywhere near that number yet. It's certainly doing well, but to see that the Switch, with its install base under 100 million, obviously, is still selling games faster than what the Wii did is super impressive to me. So, I mean, we've seen time and time again from different developers how well their games are selling on Switch, be they games that released for the first time on Switch or games that came out on other platforms that eventually received a Switch port. The sales success is there, so consumers that have the Switch are really eager to play games and try out all different types of games, and that's leading to major success for Nintendo. And obviously Nintendo can take those numbers and say, hey, third parties, look at what's going on here. You should get in on the Switch because things are going really well. The Destructo94 over on Go Nintendo said, see Nintendo, this is what happens when you add King K. Rool to games. King K. Rool equals sales. I'm sure Returns and Tropical Freeze would have had 2 million plus more sales if it had the Kremlin King in them. I mean, I do have to say, ever since Rob the Robot was included in Smash Bros., he has been my main, but Smash Bros. Ultimate is changing that. I'm playing as King K. Rool as my main. I just love him. He's such a big, strong character, but he's not slow. He's just fun to play, and he's goofy and weird. Oh, he's everything I like in a character, so I've kind of pushed Rob to the side a little bit, so maybe the Destructo94 is right here. Nintendo has King K. Rool to thank for their success. Obviously, fans were very excited to see his inclusion in Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm sure it boosted sales a little bit, but I don't think millions of people were like, the king is back, I'm in. But yeah, it's all these little things that add up to the major success that Nintendo is seeing, and King K. Rool certainly plays his part in it. I know the Destructo94 was joking around, but every little bit helps. Every character, every commercial, any promotional event or flyers or, advertising. Nintendo's really been knocking it out of the park with advertising when it comes to the Switch, and I think that's the real reason so many people are jumping in on it, because it just seemed like they were a little tone deaf with the Wii U, and marketing from day one. Yeah, the reveal of the Wii U really killed the system, so they certainly learned their lesson, and Switch's sales so far is more than enough proof of that. Alright, my friends, that's today's big story for January 15th, 2019. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. It's very much appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow for whatever tomorrow's big story is, and I sure hope you'll join me to check it out. So until then, have a lovely day and a lovely evening, and I'll see you in a few short hours.